When Venezuelans head to the polls Sunday, they will have the best chances in a generation to break the chain of populist dictatorships that have turned one of South America's wealthiest countries into one of the poorest. Beginning with President Hugo Chavez in 1999 and continuing with Nicolas Maduro today, Venezuela's oil production is now only a quarter of what it once was, further crippled by economic sanctions. The UN estimates that 8 million Venezuelans have fled, many having the goal of finding work and a peaceful life here in the United States. Joining us now is Venezuelan political analyst Liz Rebecca Alarcón. Liz, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Maduro is seeking his third 6-year term. Almost all pollsters have him losing to his main opponent, Edmundo Gonzalez. Can this election be free and fair?
You know, these elections are going to be with results that are too big to steal. We know that Edmundo and Maria Corina have the popular vote, and we also know that conditions in Venezuela are not free and fair. But what we have seen in these elections is that the groundswell of support, the on-the-ground operations to monitor the polls and to really build an excitement and a conviction to get out the vote on Sunday is what has so much international attention on this moment where Maduro is going to be under watch.
And Liz, you mentioned Maduro's main opponent, Maria Corina Machado, who had been his main opponent. Can you tell us what happened to her?
The Maduro government made her ineligible for reasons that are not legal and cannot be verified. It's the whim of dictators, as we know, who are seeing a real challenge by someone who has the support from the people. And so the images of her that you all just showed is her accompanying the person who is on the ballot, who is a retired diplomat, and they are essentially running as a ticket.
And what's been the reaction to Machado having to kind of step away from this race?
I think people have had faith in all of her moves. She has not been naive. She knows that this is a difficult battle. And so this is not the first candidate she has had to bring along with her as she campaigns in the last several months. It's the second, actually. We know that the Maduro regime has continuously taken away the ability of other opposition leaders to run. And through all of that, Maria Corina stays steadfast in uniting all Venezuelans and with a commitment to push this electoral space to be one where the people will speak what they want, which is a change beyond the Maduro regime that we've seen the last 25 years.
And Liz, you and I both know Maduro still has a tight grip on most parts of the government and the courts. If he loses, what are the chances he will cede power peacefully?
Maduro and his cronies can be let, quote unquote, off the hook with some sort of a pardon because of all the crimes that they've committed that will incentivize them to leave power. We also know that Chavismo has control of all of the other factions of government beyond the presidency. And so there's also a possibility where there is a shared power structure and where the opposition will be able to gain spaces like the presidency and have to move slowly to be able to govern in coalition with those still in the government. I see all of those as likely and important and viable solutions. We'll see what happens, though.
We certainly will. We will all be watching this weekend. Latin America political analyst Liz Rebecca Alarcón, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you all for having me.